Okay, let's start at the top. Achievable. Achieveable. Please participate. It's your practice. Achievement. Acchieveement. Acquirable. Acquirable. Advisable. Advisable. Advisement. Advisement. Commencement. Commencement. Duly. Duly. Hopeful. Hopeful. Likable. Like. Oh no, likable. I was just in my brain when I almost said lickable, and then I was reeling from the fact that I had almost said that, thinking about it, and I misspelled likable, and not the right way. So yeah, it's crazy. All right, let's do it again. Likable. Likable. Likeness. Likenness. Mileage. Mileage. Noticeable. Noticeable. Organizing. Organizing. Outrageous. Outrageous. Requirement. Requirement. Turn the page to our vocabulary and definitions. Animation. Animation. The quality of being lively, spirited, or vigorous. Cessation. Cessation. A stopping either temporarily or permanently. Contrivance. Contrivance. A plan or scheme. Diffidence. Diffidence. Lack of self-confidence, timidity. Emulation. Emulation. Effort or desire to equal or surpass another. Exasperation. Exasperation. Extreme annoyance or irritation, especially to the point of anger or frustration. Turn the page. Hallucination. Hallucination. A compelling false perception of objects or sensations which lack reality or external cause. Introspection. Introspection. The act of looking within oneself, of searching one's conscience. Iridescence. Iridescence. A rainbow light display of varying and shifting colors. Ostentation. Ostentation. Extravagant display intended to impress others or attract notice. Vainglorious showiness. Refutation. Refutation. The act of proving the incorrectness or falsity of a statement. And repugnance. Repugnance. Deep-seated aversion or antagonism, strong dislike. Okay. Very good. So do exercise A and B in your book. I haven't got them online yet, just so you know. I'll get those as soon as I can. But for now, just do them in your book. And then when I'll give you instructions in class, probably next time, to transfer them to get your grade. Okay, so please just get those done in your book. All right. So we're now back on looking at the lesson plan again here on the screen. And we've done the recitation of 3A, and we've recited and taken our quiz over I am not bound to win. Let's look at grammar exercise 20 and 21. I'll come around and see that you've done it, and then we will go over answers.
Do you want me to do just the 4 lines and take my 2 lines out of the 4 lines?
That'd be fine. Yeah, you go ahead. Just text me, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's look at it. I'll put it up on the screen, and we'll work them together. Okay. There's 20. Okay. Eric Liddell refused to run in the qualifying heats for the Olympic 100-meter race because they were held on Sunday. It says to the left of each sentence, place the correct label for the italicized noun. Choices are given in parentheses. So we have to choose between collective or compound. What? I'm actually on 20, yeah. Okay. This is what you need to see on the screen, isn't it? Okay, there we go. So first, we're looking at the italicized noun is Eric Liddell. All right. That's the subject of the sentence. And we're supposed to tell if that's collective or compound. So Sylvester, what did you put for that? Selective or compound? Or collective or compound? Compound is correct because it's made up of 2 words. All right, Dallas, you're next. Because of his stand, this soft-spoken runner from Scotland faced bitter criticism. Is that stand abstract or concrete? Okay, well your guessing was bad. So let me explain what they are. Concrete is something that exists in physical form. It's concrete. That means you can touch it. You can, if it drops on your toe, you go, ow, that kind of thing. Abstract are things that don't exist in physical form, like love, anger, hatred, envy. Beauty is a noun that it does exist as a reflection of something else, but you can't touch beauty. Beauty is somewhere in between the thing you're observing and you know. So those kind of things. So this one, I put a T for compound. This one is actually abstract because because of his stand. That has something to do with what he believed in, right? So Hannah, winning a medal was, however, to Liddell of only secondary importance. We're talking about winning here. Is that collective or substantive? It is substantive. Do you recall what substantive means? It's kind of a difficult. I mean, it's not really difficult. It's kind of a wordy definition the way they described it, but really, it's kind of like the noun version of of a verbal is for verbs. It's a substantive is anything that performs the function of a noun. Okay, so let me see. Let me look it up because I want to make sure I'm not paraphrasing and then giving you incomplete information. I care about you that much. It's page 9 and page 16. So let's look at 9. Okay. It uses it when discussing indirect object. It says that an indirect object is a substantive, but then it further describes substantive as a noun or its equivalent. Okay, which that's not complicated. And then on 16, well, that's all it gives. Oh, here it is. Substantive is another term that may be used to refer to any word, phrase, or clause that functions as a noun or as a noun equivalent. So a substantive might not be a noun from the technical sense, like normally, but its functioning is one in this. Just like running as the subject, run is typically a verb, but it's functioning as a subject. So verbal indicates that it's functioning outside of the definition of verb, you know. Well, a substantive is anything that is functioning as a noun. So a gerund is a verbal because it's a verb form not functioning as a verb. And it's also a substantive because it is a noun equivalent when it's being used as a noun. So gerund is always a noun, and it's a noun equivalent substantive. So substantive means anything, whether it's typically a noun or not, that's being used as a noun. So winning is a gerund because normally when you win, that's a verb, isn't it? I like to win. To win is a infinitive. Let's see. I win often. That's certainly a verb, where it's a gerund in this case, being used as a noun, which makes it a substantive. Okay, lots of explanation. D, instead of running in the race, Eric Liddell spent his Sunday morning preaching to a small congregation in Paris. Is that an abstract? Is congregation an abstract or collective? You're right, because that one word congregation represents a bunch of people in the room, doesn't it? You know, the congregation is more than one person. That makes it a collective. And then finally, later in the 400-meter race, Eric Liddell shocked spectators by sprinting his way to a gold medal and a new world record. That would be for Dawson. Is that abstract or concrete? And we're talking about spectators. Yeah, because they do exist. If you drop a spectator on your toe, you'll go, ow. Oh, that's concrete. No, wonderful. Okay. 21. This is starting with Jillian. Above each italicized word, write its use, either a subject, direct object, indirect object, objective complement, predicate nominative, object of preposition, or a positive. Mercury, the messenger of the gods, wore a winged cap and winged shoes. So messenger of the gods is what we're worried about here. So actually we're supposed to, so messenger and gods and cap and shoes. What do you have for messenger? No, it's not right, because the messenger of the gods is a phrase set apart by commas that renames the subject, and we call that what? Anybody can answer. An appositive. So messenger is an appositive, but gods is what you said. Gods, did you say object of preposition or predicate nominative? No, it's not that. Of the gods. What do you have? Yeah, that's right. Object of, so you got AP and OP. What's cap? You would be right if that's what you put. And then what about shoes? Yes. Very good. Patrick, number 2. Socrates called beauty a short-lived tyranny. What? Oh, am I off the screen? So sorry. Thank you for telling me. What'd you say? Yeah, what's that word? The first word of the sentence. Yeah. What's the word? I want you to read it to me. Who? Socrates? Yeah. I called him Socrates because Bill and Ted called him that on Bill and Ted's, what is it? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. His name is Socrates. Okay. Beauty. It is. and tyranny. It is. Excellent work. Yeah, because it follows a direct object and renames. Socrates calls tyranny. What did he call it? I'm sorry, Socrates calls beauty tyranny. So beauty is a short-lived tyranny. I'd love to discuss that with you. Do you understand that? Beauty is a short-lived tyranny. Let's stop for a second. This is valuable. Socrates is a great thinker. So beauty is a short-lived tyranny. What does it mean? Someone tell me what they think it means. What?
We're all controlled by the thought of being beautiful or likable, and it's only for a very short time.
Very good. I think that you've extrapolated it into something more meaningful. You thought past it a little bit. A person who's beautiful, that beautiful young woman that everybody aspires to be, that really handsome young man that everyone aspires to be, rules the world for a short time. Because they do. Everyone aspires to be just like them, and they get money and fame, and the members of the opposite sex pine after them and all of that stuff, but then they are not beautiful anymore. So it's a tyranny, meaning all powerful, right? Tyranny, what they say goes, they rule the world, but it's short-lived because it's nothing they earned, right? It's just what their gift was. Yeah, and I think that we see that a lot we see it in an extreme way in media and celebrity, but it's true even in small microcosms like a classroom or a grade or a school. Thankfully, it's not quite that way here. It has been in the past. It might be in the future. I hope not, but in other places, it really is strong, where the head cheerleader has a tyranny over all the girls in the school, but she's, many times lives let's just say a very disappointing life after high school. I mean, they're full of movies are full of this story. Reality, there's full of reality. The girl with all the power in high school turns out to be disappointed in the way that her life turned out once she got out of that high school realm, or the boy who was the star quarterback and was able to get anything he wanted, command anyone to do anything in high school afterwards, never really accomplished much of anything because that didn't last past high school. So love that. Thank you. Medic, can you bring this wounded soldier a drink of water? Asked the nurse. Who's this? Haley? Mm-hmm. Water's not a direct object. So what'd you say? Guess what? So soldier, if soldier's what is it that you want, the nurse wanted the soldier to bring him? Uh-huh. Wouldn't be an objective compliment. What's of? Yeah, that's it. Object of preposition. You're right there. So indirect object is soldier. Water is an object of preposition. All right, good. Next is Brianne. So the chairman appointed Landry treasurer for the banquet. Yes. Oh, I see why you did that. That's not right, but I see why, because it renames chairman. But it's not set apart by commas, and it comes after the verb. The positives directly follow the subject. So In this case, Landry, appointed is an action verb. Landry is the direct object. Treasurer is the objective complement. Just like I walked my dog Max. Chairman appointed Landry treasurer. So Landry is the direct object. Treasurer is the objective complement. If it would be if appointed, like if you said the chairman Landry appointed something, then it would be in a positive. But because appointed came before it, it can't be a positive. It has to be a complement. Okay. I got you. I see where you're going. And then James, number 5, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Just tell me what you put and I'll tell you if it's right or wrong. No, neither one on. But I'll explain it. It's people always mess up the Bible ones too because they're just it throws you just enough outside your normal way of thinking about language that you overthink it. So, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Let's do the whole sentence here. I think it'll be valuable. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So, what is the thing talking about mainly? What's the subject?
Word.
Yeah, so this would be word. Word is a linking verb. What is word? A lamp. That's a predicate nominative. And a light. That's another predicate nominative. Unto my feet is a prepositional phrase. So that's a prep. And then this is an adjective, object of preposition. And is a conjunction. A is an adjective. Unto is a prep. Adjective. Path. Object of preposition. So the ones you had to do were the 2 predicate nominatives, lamp and light. So because it's just simpler than you thought it was, James. If the word is the subject, is the verb, there are 2 things that the word is, and so that's lamp and light. I think I just lost my battery. Yeah. We're going to stop there and we'll move on to talking about the open boat. Okay. So get out the open boat and let's discuss a bit. Okay. And also, if there's anything that I need you to know for a quiz or test, I'll tell you about that too. So this started on page 63, I believe. Okay. Stephen Crane, we're recording. Stephen Crane, his father was a Methodist minister, and he was a writer of tracts. Who can tell me what a tract is? It's an old school term for something. You ever seen somebody put any kind of literature on maybe a windshield or something that talks about getting saved or whatever? It's like a little 1-page folded or 2-page pamphlet that just says, are you ready for heaven? And then you open it and there's steps to salvation, or things like that. Jehovah's Witnesses have them still. It used to be that they were much more common. Mr. Stewart tells a funny story about whenever we were very young, me and I don't even know if Jill was born yet, but money was really tight. He was a salesman, and I was with him at work, and he was at Skaggs Alpha Beta, which was a grocery store chain long ago. His job was to sell food to the grocery stores, and so he would bring in samples and talk to the managers and that kind of thing. And he was standing in Skaggs Alpha Beta, and he looked across the down one of the aisles, and there was a $20 bill laying in the floor, and that was a lot of money, he said back then. And so he wanted to get to it quickly because he knew whoever got there first scored the 20. And if there were other people there. And so he took a kind of a leaping step to go get it real quick. And the floor had just been waxed. And he slipped and did the splits and split his pants all the way from the belt to the zipper. And and so he was very embarrassed, had to walk out with his pants all ripped, and he picked up the $20 bill, and it was a fake $20 bill that when you opened it told you how to become a Christian. So it was a gospel tract anyway. It wasn't even real. So he split his pants over that, and it turned out to be as he says, just a gospel tract. So that's what a gospel tract is, okay? And his father was a Methodist minister and wrote those kind of things. His mother was a writer and editor of Christian publications. He rebelled against his Christian heritage. Crane did not recognize sin as sin, but attempted to blame man's behavior on social, economic, and environmental forces. His best novel, The Red Badge of Courage, is a sensitive, realistic study of the fear of a young soldier fighting his first battle in the Civil War. While returning from an assignment in Cuba, Crane was on board the Commodore when it sank off the coast of Florida. And from his experience came his finest story, The Open Boat. So, since he was a writer, and since this story was written because he sank and was rescued only because of a boat, which character, this is an important question for you who read it, which character of The Open Boat do you think was in reality Stephen Crane in his mind? He was a writer. So which character is it? What's that? Stephen Crane wrote this story, the author of The Open Boat. He was also a writer. He was also shipwrecked. The boat went down, and he was saved by a lifeboat. So and it inspired this story. So in those four people that were in that boat, which one was Stephen Crane? The correspondent, because he was a writer, right? So yeah, you can connect the author to the correspondent now, knowing that that's the story. Okay, so Stephen Crane is the author, and he sees himself as the correspondent, or wrote the character of the correspondent through his experience. So which of the characters, guys, which of the characters was already injured when the story starts? That the captain was injured. That's right. And then what are the other? So we got a correspondent and a captain. We have two other people. Who are they? The cook and the oiler. What's an oiler? Yeah. Okay. I don't know that they had rigs back then, but he like what we think of as deep sea rigs. But I do know that he did something in the oil trade. So, let's see. So, okay. The oiler and the correspondent struggle to row at the oars and to keep the boat from being swamped. The men believe they'll get to shore if the wind holds and they don't capsize. And the boat rises the crest of a large wave. The captain spots a lighthouse in the horizon. Using the captain's coat as a sail, the boat makes headway towards the lighthouse, and the men soon see land. The wind dies down. The oiler and the correspondent keep rowing. The wind returns and pushes them to the north of the lighthouse. So they're disappointed. They don't see signs of life on the shore. The men decide to risk the surf and do what? They said they're going to risk the surf, meaning they're going to risk the coral reefs and all that stuff. And they decide they're going to row the boat to land. And then when the waves threaten to capsize the boat too far from land to swim, the oiler skillfully takes the boat back out to sea to save them. And then much later, a man on the shore waves at them, and the captain waves back. And the crowd gathers to the shore, but no help comes, and the men lose sight of the land when the night falls. During the night, the oiler rows first, and then the correspondent rows while the others sleep. He sees the fin of a shark knifing through the waters, but says nothing to the others. The correspondent reflects on death and the loneliness of their situation, recalling a poem he learned as a child. This must have actually happened to Stephen Crane, this part. You know, this is the whole reason for him writing this story, was to get to this part so he could convey the experience that he had, probably, most likely, when he was stuck in that boat, you know? The oiler takes his place after a while, and then the cook steers a while so that both the oiler and the correspondent can rest. When the boat drifts close to the shore, the correspondent rows it back out, and then the oiler takes over once again. A beautiful morning dawns, and the men see the coastline clearly. Seeing that no help was coming, they again decide to take their boat to shore. The boat capsizes. The captain holds on to the overturned boat while the other men swim for shore. A man on the shore takes off his clothes and rushes into the water to help the exhausted swimmers. One of them drowns. Who? The oiler drowns. Why do you think he drowned? I have a theory. I think it's implied in the story. Why do you think he drowned? Because there's a bit of irony here, sad irony here. Of all the people who are most likely to survive, it would be the oiler. The captain, probably most, except that he's injured. So of all the physically able people on the boat to survive, I would think the oiler would be that person. So why do you think he didn't survive?
Because I feel like it's kind of like research, like a point that maybe this is the big strongest. I don't know.
Well, it does prove that what you're about to say is true. Just because you're the strongest doesn't mean you can survive this moment. Because this moment had an oiler who had worked so hard to keep them safe and keep them from dying in the past, was too exhausted to swim ashore. I think that's what he's trying to tell us, the sad irony of this. Because, you know, he's the one that saved him the last time, the other night. And he rode through the night, not rode, R-O-D-E, but R-O-W-E-D. He rode through the night as well. So, yeah, so he's the one that didn't make it. And then people bring hot coffee and blankets to the survivors, but the oiler receives only a grave. Well, that's dramatic, isn't it? Okay, so it's a good story. Did you like that one? The next one that you're going to read tonight is by Nathaniel Hawthorne, The Great Carbuncle. Nathaniel Hawthorne also wrote what famous novel that we're going to read this year? Anybody know? The Scarlet Letter. Yeah.
Wait, what's that one question?
Sir?
What's up with that one question about the theme?
The theme, yes.
The theme, was it like nature or fate or something like that? That's what I heard.
On the theme? I don't remember the question. What was it?
It says, according to the author, what is the book then? And it says,
What are the options? Oh,
Attention to blind men's behavior on social, economic, and environmental.
oh, that's because um, in the description of Stephen Crane, that's what he did. Um, yeah, I think the answer is either fate or nature. I think it's either fate or nature or both. Either one of those probably. Is that a fill in the blank? I think it's fate or nature. And either one of those, they're the same thing. Right? I mean, really, if you consider if you're not a deist, they're the same thing. So the natural world, what was meant to be, is the same thing as fate. So okay. So the Great Carbuncle, this one's a great one, and this one of all the stories in this book, the Great Carbuncle is on the most tests. It's not a tough one. It actually is kind of a common story, but the characters are really neat. So you'll need to know for your quiz next time all of the different characters that go after the carbuncle and what they're known for and which one gets it and which one lets it go and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the main thing. There's only 5 questions, but they're all about that. Okay. The last thing I want to say here is if you look at the lesson plan, you guys see the lesson plan, Marlene and Brandy now? Okay, so if you look at the lesson plan, it says for homework, you need to write 1.5 pages, 1.5 pages of your rough draft by next class. I'm doing something a little different this time. I've got more time during the school day, and I'm going to work with everybody next class. So do your homework that's due. We're going to check it all real quick, but then I'm going to get right into helping you get ready for this rough draft. So you write 1.5 pages of it before next class. I'm going to expect you to write the other 1.5 pages in the class, and then you won't have to stress over it the next day. Okay, let me show you something real quick on the camera here that I think illustrates why and what we're doing. If you look at this piece of paper actually is my map of Crusoe's Island. That's not what I meant to show. Okay. What are the 4 steps of the writing process, everyone? We're going to write them right here. What are they? Say it out loud. Plan first. Write. Okay. Edit with a T. We've already done the outline. What is that? What step is that? That's plan. I'm going to ask you to start the write process. And when I say write, I mean just look at your outline and start putting words on paper. I don't care if it's typed, if it's handwritten, it doesn't matter. Get the stuff out of your brain and onto the page. Okay? It doesn't have to be good at all, because this is not what you're turning in to me on the rough draft for the grade. This is what you're turning into me for a homework grade next class. And I'm not going to take it up from you. I'm going to come look at it to show, you're going to show me that you've written 1.5 pages. I'm not even going to scrutinize it until I get to your desk. And one at a time, we're going to look at what you've written and talk about it. But you'll have time while other people are talking with me to finish the thing. My goal is by the end of class next time that you've gotten it completely written. And then you're into the rewrite stage for the night after. So in class, for homework, I'll put HW, and in class, we're going to do the write step. Rewrite will be Thursday night, based on all the things we talked about and your reading of your own work. And when you turn this in, it will be a rough draft, but rewritten. Does that make sense to you? That's what I want. I don't want it to be the roughest rough draft. I want it to be the rough draft that you've rewritten, so that all you have left to do the next week is the final part, which is edit. And then I think if we do it this way, I'm going to start getting final drafts that aren't full of punctuation errors and spelling errors and grammar mistakes and words that are not formal in nature. No, we'll have fewer shortened words that only exist for texting and things like that. So that's the plan. So when you bring me a page and a half, now if you're handwriting it, it needs to be 2 pages probably, because it needs to be equivalent typed page and a half. Half of your paper is what I want to see. Okay. But that's homework for next time. So going back to our lesson plan, it says, I need you for next time to do your spelling, A and B, but you can just do it in your book because I don't have it online yet. Complete exercises on 22 and 23, which almost all of you have already done. Read The Great Carbuncle, 76 to 83, and then write a page and a half of your rough draft, okay, which is equivalent to about 2 nights homework if we were doing class every day. So this one, there's enough to do in reading The Great Carbuncle and writing a page and a half, but it's really going to pay off because I'm going to give you time to write the rest of your paper in class. Nod if you understand what I'm asking. Okay, this will be good. Thank you very much. Some of you might have just hurt your neck right there. All right, well, thank you. Have a great day. I love you all. Hasta la vista. Bye, ladies. Thank you.